Howdy guys, and welcome back to the Musings of Maverick channel. It's been a while, about 2 weeks to be exact. The previous episode was episode 12.5, which was more of a recap episode, so I decided not to do it. And for this episode, actually I was overseas on a business trip for the past whole week, so this episode was a little bit delayed as well. But that's okay, all is fine now, we are back on track. So anyways, this marks the beginning of the second cour of this season of Carole Tuesday. As far as I know, we're gonna get some new songs, new characters. Apparently there's a new set of composers, mostly Western ones, although to be honest, I've never heard of any of them, right? So I have no idea how their songs are going to be. But I do believe that the opening and ending song for this second cour of the season will be changed. It'll probably also sang by Carole and Tuesday, right? So beyond that, we really don't know what to expect for this second half. Carole and Tuesday have passed their the competition, so now they can debut as a as a singer duo, as a composing duo, musical duo, if you will, along with Angela, right? But there's still a lot of storylines that we haven't finished yet. We still haven't got through the entire, relationship between, Angela, that part, as well as Carole and Tuesday. We still got Angela's whole thing with her mom, as well as Tao, and potentially even her manager as well. And on Carole and Tuesday's side, Tuesday still hasn't resolved the situation for her family yet. There's bound to be some other sequential consequences along the way. And also, well, even Carole and Tuesday themselves, like I said, I still feel like their character relations growth wasn't really anything to look at in the first cour of the season. I would have expected a little bit more. And, we do know that there's an end to all this, right? This is not an adaptation, so they need to fit all the story within the 24 episodes. And so by 24 episodes or 12 episodes later, they're going to have to do something that's going to rock the world, right? They're going to change the world being Mars here specifically, because that's what we've been told every time the freaking intro comes in, right? So, well, they got a lot of ground to cover, so I guess we should just start now, right? So let's just get right into the episode. Alrighty, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Right, and you got 12 episodes to get here, to the miraculous 7 minutes. And here's the new song. But still, I will have to mute the actual song. But let's look at this for this first time. Oh? Doing some more instruments? Really? That's probably just for fun. Polygene. Polygene? Polygene. Not really sure what that's a reference to. Alright, back. Personally, I feel like I like the opening for the first cour better. But oh well. And yeah, last episode I also made the comment that these two are still minors. So even if they wanted to debut, they need to get permission from their guardians, parents, whatever. What? Okay. So, probably interviewing Carole Tuesday? The Ellen Show? Alright. Look at how nervous these two are. Okay. That's a good story to tell. Oh, 112k. Oh. I have to even... Oh, actually, as far as I know, I think I read somewhere that this Instagram account does exist. And if you go on there, they actually do have stuff in regards to the show. The Instagram account, Carole Tuesday. Is that gonna be like the big misunderstanding and then they're actually gonna end up rivals? Okay. Well, it's nice to know that Guardian, Pitchfork, and Rolling Stone still exist in this hypothetical future. Walk this way. I'm assuming that's referring to the Aerosmith song and not the Run DMC remix. So that venture fund is like, yes, I made the right decision. Oh, nice. Oh, nice. All right, you guys know the drill. Let me mute this. Some autotune. Oh wait, it's live? That takes some guts. Hmm. That's it? Alright. I mean, it's not a bad song. I just still would prefer the arrangement to be something different. Wow. They can't even consent. Don't tell me this guy is like Carole's dad. I mean, he didn't really even do anything. And that would have been a PR nightmare. Done. Aikido? Really? Okay. Oh, it's these two. These two. These. Okay. They're probably like, we don't even know about it. I guess this is Angela's way of recognizing them. Yeah, it's hard to say. I'd say Angela isn't really, from what we've seen so far. Yeah, the Aerosmith version. From what we've seen this so far, she's not really that bad a character. She's not really an antagonist. They're gonna choose freedom. She's like, no thanks. Okay. So is there like just one record company for the entire Mars? Basically marketing and tie-ins. But still, these two, they really, like, if, as was mentioned there with creativity, signing with a label typically means that they will control your musical direction in some sort of way. Although, with the way this series is going, I'm assuming Gus is going to keep that into mind. This is something that these two can relate on. Okay. Well, this is certainly a topical anime. Her son? So is he going to also run for some kind of office? Actually, do people know that Tuesday is related with Valerie yet? Ooh, nice. Okay. So are these... Well, I'm assuming this is going to... Okay, these two are both new. Okay, a reporter? I thought it was an investigator of some sort. Okay. Wow, that is really a country. I mean, aren't you supposed to, like, really discuss Yeah, you should probably ask them first. That's nice. Okay, this is getting interesting. Mm-hmm. Yep, I was about to mention that. So who's going to be the producer? Don't tell me it's going to be Erdgen? Oh no. Okay. So someone new? Man, this Gus dude. The slums. My luck. Oh, okay. This kind of street performance? They're really going with the whole grassroots approach. Oh, already? Another new song, okay. Okay, I'm liking this already. Okay, this song took a different direction than I was expecting. Still quite nice though. I like it more than the opening. Jolly Jean song. Raleigh Jean song. Mm. Okay, I'm guessing it's this guy. Toby. Okay, oh, that's it? To be continued? Really? Really? Oh. And another ending song. So, Army of Two. Not afraid. Is this Angela? This might be my favorite song from Angela so far. At least I like the arrangement a lot better. Nice. Alrighty, so we kick off the second cour with some pretty interesting stuff overall, and lots of songs overall as well, which is great because this is a music anime after all, right? So we have a new opening song and a new ending song. The opening song, Polygene, I've said more lukewarm towards, just not really my style. I do, however, really like the ending song sang by Angela, and this also puts into perspective that Angela is not just some, some antagonist character that we're gonna brush away later on. She's an integral part of this story as well. That's why she has the right of being the singer for the ending song, right? And not to mention that I do really like the ending song. Most of all of Angela's songs are typical pop songs, right? But I feel like in terms of the arrangement, they've always been missing something. They all feel very underproduced. And so, at least for this one, for Not Afraid, I always think of Eminem's song when I speak those words. But anyways, when I hear that song, it feels like, okay, this is the actual tone that this song was going for. And not like, I even forgot, like, what was the song where she kept saying "Move Mountains"? I don't quite remember the title for that song, but that song in particular, it felt underproduced for what it was trying to portray. This one, it felt like just right. Right? So it was nice to see it there. And by just right, I'm saying that the complexity of the arrangement and whatnot, what sounds are in it, the layers being added on and on. For most of Angela's songs, and really for all of the artist's songs so far, I feel like they've been quite lacking in a way. It seems like, I don't know, maybe the outside composers that the anime got just decided to write the melody and then sort of like mailed it in for the arrangement part, or it could be this is just generally what they are accustomed to doing. I don't quite know. Like I said, I don't really have any knowledge of any of these composers. It might be just their kind of style. Maybe they just want to go for a minimalistic style, not only for the composers but also for the overall direction of this work as a whole. But I'm just saying that to me they all feel a little bit underproduced and slightly too simple, if you will. Although, again, let's see, we also see Army of Two and Breathe Again for this episode, right? So Breathe Again also falls back into the same problem. I feel like it's slightly underproduced. Army of Two, I'll have to listen to a longer version of that song. I quite like the way that it started off. It's just that it then also, got kind of meh, if you will. It sounded like any of all of their other songs, if you will. It just doesn't particularly stand up as part of the repertoire. So hopefully, with this episode, with a music producer getting on board, they're gonna start to solve these kinds of problems and really giving it the full sounds that it deserves. And speaking of which, alright, so first of all, let's talk about the reference to Brian Epstein, as well as George Martin for this episode, right? So, for any of you guys who didn't know, these two are the manager and the producer for the Beatles, respectively, right? So, in fact, they're commonly called the fifth Beatle behind a lot of people, both of them. And anyways, it's just saying, it's just Gus's way of saying that he's a legendary manager himself, and they also need to get a legendary producer who will hopefully help them flesh out and round out their sound, maybe giving them direction, maybe maybe just arranging the song for them and whatnot. So that will be interesting to see later down the road, because this Toby guy definitely seems quite the handful, right? Even more so than Gus. And, speaking of Gus and legendary managers, well, I did like how they finally sort of went through, the workings of the music industry within this episode, with actually showing us a draft recording contract, made by, I believe it was Brightest Star Recordings, or Brightest Recordings, something like Bright Star Recordings. Anyways, a major label, right? A major label, and they got this first draft of this music contract that they want Carole Tuesday to sign, and we actually get to see some of the contents of it as well. So it didn't really go too deep into such things such as advances and royalties and whatnot, nor creative direction, those kind of stuff. But from what we can see of what appeared on screen, indeed, it was fairly Actually, I'd say it's very restrictive of Carole and Tuesday. In fact, if they did sign this, they'd pretty much be, tied into this record company forever, because this record company is going to own all the rights for all the stuff in regards to Carole and Tuesday. Not only their music, the rights to their music and performances, but also, in fact, their name and their images and autographs and whatnot, all those kind of stuff, right? From the quick glimpse of what we can see, it seems that these are all going to be transferred, the rights of which are going to be transferred over to the record company. And so that also includes, think about it. They're not going to be able to freely post on their Instagram or a YouTube channel anymore, because these rights are owned by the record company, and so they would need the explicit consent from the record company to do this. Also consider that if they did want to, because they're using their stage name is Carole Tuesday, right? But it also happens to be their name as well. And so if they did sign this contract, if they wanted to perform in the future, they would not be able to use the names Carole and Tuesday anymore. And not even if they went solo, they're not going to be able to call one another their solo career, if you will. They're not going to be able to call themselves Carole or Tuesday, respectively, because these rights will be owned by the record company, which can sue them if they choose to do so. So quite restrictive in that particular part, and also merchandise as well. And it's funny because, speaking of Brian Epstein, one of his most famous regrets was that he signed away a lot of the merchandise rights to the Beatles when they got to the USA in advance, because at that time the Beatles were still relatively unknown, struggling artists, if you will. And so in order to get money, they signed a lot with their merchandise rights away, and so that for every, all the merchandise they can sell, they only receive a tiny percent of the total sell amount, right? So Gus was probably right to reject this. Realistically, he would probably go back and forth with the record label, and also back and forth with Carole and Tuesday as well, trying to negotiate better terms or whatnot. But I guess Gus being Gus, he just decided to flat out reject them. Just like, screw it, I'll just do it by myself, right? And that is indeed what he's going to have to do, because since they're trying to go through this the indie route, right, they're gonna have to secure all the advertising and promotions, marketing and whatnot by themselves, right? So it's gonna be Gus's job to get promotional spots, to get TV spots, to get commercial spots, promote their new single, their new music on radio shows, on the television with interviews, and so on and so forth, right? And I am looking forward to this, actually. I don't know how deep they're going to go into this. Up to now, it seems that they've been relatively light on the actual industry stuff of the music part. But I do hope that maybe in the following episodes we're going to see, especially with a music producer on board, maybe how it is to actually do recordings, the whole process of it, as well as we're going to see Gus trying to go around and find ways to promote their new music. Right, but as I've said many times before, I do appreciate this kind of grassroots approach. It does kind of seem silly to me that they first won a major contract and then decide to go indie. I would have, the normal way would have been to go indie first and then get a chance to do a major debut, right? So that is kind of funny in that respect, but it's better than nothing happening at all, right? So that is definitely the type of stuff that I am interested in and I am looking forward to. Of course, besides the music matters, right? We still got drama on hand, and so with these new characters on board, we got what? A reporter, we got a, I guess, campaign manager of some sort, and this other old dude, I'm not quite sure what he is supposed to be, a detective or something, an investigator. Anyways, but it seems that both Carole and Tuesday's past are going to come back and bite them somehow, some way, right? Especially now that we know that Valerie is actually doing some shady stuff underneath the table. That probably will affect Tuesday's career as well. And Carole, you know, I'm still of the opinion that maybe she's going to be able to find some of her family. You know, it's already hinted at within this episode, but I mean, really find some of her family in the future as well. So probably we're gonna get more drama in regards to these girls' respective past. So hopefully they make that interesting and they make it more of a side note compared to the music, right? Well, I guess maybe for some people they will want to actually watch a good story, but I'm here for the music, so that's that. Anyways, that's been my review for episode 13. It's a good start so far. Hopefully it keeps it on, and hopefully they can cover more and more interesting behind-the-scenes industry stuff. That I feel like would be very informative and very fun to watch. So anyways, until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.